Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Anthony with Wrenched Out Reviews. Today, we're going to be talking about EDC, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so a pretty big thing in just the world in general right now is EDCs. There is just a huge assortment of what people are carrying around with them. It's become a really big thing on social media, on people sharing their EDCs, and it's an assortment of different things. So today I wanted to talk about that. I was actually in the office here working on some video stuff for the YouTube channel, and I thought, why not talk about what my EDC is and why I have that. Now, I do have a get-home bag, and we are going to make some changes to this, so this will be kind of a segment that will be on and off on the Wrenched Out Reviews playlist. So let's just kind of dive right into it right out of the gate. So EDC to me is something that you generally carry around with you every day, no matter what the circumstances are. Now, depending on what I'm doing, obviously depends on what I'm carrying with me, but there are some staples. Obviously, I carry a wallet with me. That's standard. I think most women carry purses or wallets, depending on the woman. But so always have my wallet with. I always try to have a little bit of cash and then cards, identification, so forth and so on. So that's kind of a standard. I would assume that everybody does that. That's a very basic thing. But I am a minimalist when it comes to my wallet. I try not to have the inch-thick wallet. And I don't carry a bunch of that stuff with me. Just the basics, you know, debit, Visa card, insurance card. I think I got my Costco card and then my license. So that's really what it is as far as the wallet goes. Now, another part of my EDC that I carry often with me is a knife. Now, I'm not going to go into specifics. I do have multiple knives, and I'll talk about those in different videos. But in this video, I generally carry the Spyderco G10. It's right here. I always keep it sharp. Always keep your knife sharp. But it's just kind of my go-to at this time. I have changed this over the years and will more than likely continue to change it as time goes on. But this is basically the staple, the knife that I carry with me. It is my everyday carry. So, and I know that there's a lot of brand favored people and so forth and so on, but let's go to the third item. And the third item I carry this is not loaded. There's no magazine in it. There's no rounds in the weapon. They are removed from this area that I'm shooting the video. So if you are doing anything with a weapon, including talking about your EDCs, make sure no ammunition. Let's not have an accidental discharge, as I say in all of my videos. So I carry the Black Hawk case. I'll put some links to the Black Hawk cases. I think this is one of the best cases on the market. I mentioned this in the Carry Conceal video, and I'll put an assortment so it's not just for the Glock that I carry. I'll put a couple other ones on there if you're interested. The link's down below on Amazon. So the reason I do carry this, obviously it fits into you can either belt loop it or stick it right into your pants. So it sits in there very nice. And then of course you've got your release there. I mean, it's not gonna fall out. Nothing's gonna happen until you release it. With the firearm itself, as far as an EDC goes, this is a Glock 30, which is a 45 caliber. Really the only upgrades I've done to this, and I'm actually gonna do a full kind of short video and a review on this firearm that's going to be coming out pretty soon here, is I've got the Trigen daylighters. As far as the sights go, I do have my Mola maybe backplate, and then I've got the Talon grips. I do have pierce extensions for my fingers on it. But the reason I carry this, as opposed to some of the other handguns I do carry, at least at this time, I am considering switching over to my Glock 19. It's just due to size. It's a fairly compact firearm. It fits on me, as you saw in the Carry Conceal. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to that up here. But it fits to me very well. And you can put it in a bag, especially if I'm out shooting video or photography stuff. I can throw it in a bag, or even when I'm out on my motorcycle. It fits in my side saddle very easily. But that's my EDC. Now, a couple of things that bothers me, I guess, about EDC or the idea of everyday carry is that you've got guys that are carrying around so much gear. Really, in my mind, an everyday carry is you should have the very basics. You're packing this stuff around with you. It should be all, your gun should be cleaned. It should be ready for action in the event of an emergency. Your knife should be sharp just in case you have to utilize it for whatever purpose. But if you go too far with it, and there's a lot of guys I feel that are going way too far. Hey, I got my EDC. It's a whole backpack they pack around with them. And it's like, okay, now let's break down what EDC is and what it means to you. So generally speaking, everyday carry is the stuff that you pack with you. Now, if you're packing a backpack full of crap with you, where are you going? Now if you're traveling 100 miles every day, then you need a get home bag, in which I will feature on this channel, and I've got my own get home bag. But an everyday carry bag, why would you need all that gear? Let's see, how should I say this? We live in rural Alaska. I live out of a major city. But ultimately, in the case of an event of any kind, I'm not going to need a backpack full of stuff to get me out of X emergency. That's literally what an EDC should be, is an emergency situation. It's how are you going to respond? And then in conjunction with that, are there tools you use? I use my knife all the time, opening boxes, cutting rope, cutting twine, cutting package, whatever it is, but I utilize it all the time. My wallet, all the stuff in there obviously is utilized multiple times a day. The firearm, I shouldn't have to use. But to, I guess, expand, there's millions of these multi-tools out now, Leathermans, the little tiny, again, multi-tools that guys are packing around on them. And it's like, well, are you actually utilizing that? In a week, how many times have you used it? In a month? In a year, how many times have you used that? And that's really the question I pose to everybody that has an EDC. With the only exception would be a firearm. I mean, a firearm should only be used in an emergency situation in which you shouldn't be dealing with those on a weekly, monthly basis. Now, the argument, of course, is going to be, well, you never know. Well, that argument could go for your whole life. I could pack up my mechanic's toolbox with all the tools in it, throw it in the bed of my truck, carry it around with me just in case I break down. Or I can have it in my garage, and if I do break down, I tow the one time in 10 years that happens, I call the tow company, get my truck towed, and it's done. And I'm not packing around these tools, I'm not going through them, so forth and so on. So I would definitely challenge you to take a look at what is the utility purpose of the gear that you're carrying around with you every day. Now, again, mine's not a foolproof or an end-all to the EDC by any means. Depending on what environment you live in is also and should impact what you're carrying around with you. Now, if you live in the middle of the woods, literally, in which I've got friends that do, then obviously a part of your EDC is probably going to be a rifle. Why wouldn't it be, right? And some ammunition, and if you're packing in or you're off the grid, so to speak, then maybe you have some water in your truck or whatever, but that's still kind of your get home bag. So I just wanted to add some clarity around that and kind of open the conversation up around everyday carry, because it's such a huge thing and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Now, I am a huge fan of it. I do appreciate, obviously, every morning when I get up, I always do my check, wallet, knife, what am I doing today? And then depending on what I'm doing, it depends on whether or not I'm bringing my firearm with me. Obviously, if I'm at home, I'm not walking around with a gun on me in my home. That's ridiculous. We're not in the wild, wild west. I don't see any reason to pack a firearm on my persons in my home. If I'm running up to the store to go get gas, or if I'm just running up to the grocery store, depending on what the scenario is, I will gauge what is needed. Now, again, I do have a get home bag. We'll go into that in a later video. What are you guys carrying? What's in your EDC? Drop a comment below. I'm genuinely interested. And let's start a conversation, because that will obviously trigger, hopefully, more videos. Again, I do have an assortment of knives I will be going over here in the near future. So that pretty much wraps it up. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We did. We've got a lot of these kind of fun firearm, life, wilderness, a combination of things coming to the Wrenched Out reviews. So thank you guys for tuning in. If this is your first time or your 100th time, if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure hit that subscribe button down below. We've got a lot of great new content coming out. And as always, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, all of the social media sites. And until next time, guys, hey, be safe. If you're messing with your firearms, cleaning them, working on them, whatever it is, please, I can't stress it enough, make sure the ammunition is out of the immediate area. Until next time, be safe, and we'll see you guys around.